everyone, it's Emily here, and today I am bringing you the books which are on my radar. So I was thinking about how I kind of, in a way, miss the TBR videos, not because I want to have a TBR, but just because it's kind of nice to have a video which is telling you all about the books that I'm looking forward to or that I kind of want to read, and also that gives you an idea of maybe what might be coming up as I read, and so that way you can look forward to my videos and be like, oh, she talked about that book, and oh, now maybe I want to hear what her thoughts are about it when she finishes it. I don't know. Something like that, I guess. But anyway, so I kind of miss having the TBR videos, so I thought maybe instead of doing a TBR every couple months, I could do a What's on My Radar video where I just discuss books that I'm looking forward to, that I kind of have in my vision of what might be coming soon. These books sometimes might be new releases, sometimes they're just books that have been sitting on my shelf for way too long, or just anything that is piquing my interest at the moment. The first books that I'm going to talk about are the ones that I already have in my possession, whether they are ones I got from the library, or ones a friend has let me borrow, or those I already own and they're sitting on my shelf. So we have two Patricia Briggs books, Masks and Wolfsbane, and a friend of mine who is the one who got me into Mercy Thompson, she also lets me borrow her Mercy Thompson books, and Patricia Briggs is that author, and these two books are ones my friend let me borrow as well when she sends me the next Mercy Thompson book. And these ones seem to be more of classic high fantasy versus the Mercy Thompson books are urban fantasy. And I do really like the Mercy Thompson books, and so I'm kind of excited to see what she does in the more classic, epic end of the fantasy spectrum, because I haven't seen her do that before, and they're also both still relatively short books, and most high fantasy or classic fantasy are bigger, and so I'm kind of interested to see what she does with it. Then I picked up recently Written and Read by Anne Bishop. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this series, and I've seen it around at Barnes & Noble, and I keep on wanting to read it, but for some reason I haven't yet, and so finally I just bit the bullet and bought the first book. I am pretty excited. I think she is I think the main character has some kind of blood magic, and it makes people want to use her magic. I'm not entirely sure, but I've heard a lot of people say that they liked it. I have a feeling I'm going to like it because I've really been liking urban fantasy, and it's supposed to be a really good urban fantasy series. I believe there are 3 books out at the moment, and I've heard the 4th one is coming out in March. In an ideal world, if I like the first book, I'm going to just read the other ones and be all caught up by the next one comes out, but I feel like that's not going to happen, but who knows? I might try if I like this first one. Then I have the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I already read Shadow and Bone. It was one of my favorite books of last year, but for some reason I just haven't finished the rest of the trilogy. Like, I have the other 2 books, I just haven't read them yet. And so I'm kind of thinking that I'm just going to reread this one and just like binge the whole trilogy all together, because I do want to read Leigh Bardugo's other books that I haven't been able to get to yet, because I really want to read the Grisha trilogy first. And yeah, I think it's going to be great just to kind of binge this whole series, and I think I'll pick up on more details that happen in this book, because I think I missed a lot of details because I was kind of just like in a haze of emotion and fangirliness as I was reading, and so I want to get more of that and then move on to the rest of the one. And then we have History Is All You've Left Me by Adam Silvera. This just came out a couple days ago when I'm filming this. It came in the mail yesterday, and I'm filming this on January 20th, in case anybody's curious. And I'm really, really excited. Everybody's been talking about it, and Adam Silvera is just a precious muffin, and I want to read this book. And there's Lumena by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I will finish reading this book someday. I have tried it like 2 or 3 times, and I just, like, for some reason I'm having a hard time following it. I've been enjoying it, having a hard time following, but I now have a hard copy of the book. I have the audio book version of the book, and I'm going to listen to the audio as I'm reading the hard copy, and I think it'll work this time. It will. And then there is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh, and I had been hearing about this book a lot. A lot of people talk about this book, and, you know, I know she's been at Youve Fest and all this stuff, and I downloaded it a few months ago because it was on sale for Kindle, and so I downloaded it, but I just haven't really been in the mood to read it. And I know it's like a retelling of Arabian Nights and all that stuff, but I was kind of like, oh, okay, I'll get to it eventually. But then I realized I hadn't actually heard the plot of the story until I was listening to one of my writing podcasts, and they were talking about this book. And oh my gosh, now I really need to read it. So for those of you who are in the dark, the way I was in the dark, basically the main character, before the book even starts, there is this king or sultan type of guy, and he marries these young women and then kills them right away. And for the main character, the last woman he married was her best friend, and now she's been murdered. And so the main character decides that she's going to become his next wife and take revenge. And I was like, that sounds awesome. And so that book basically shot really high up on my TBR. The last book I own is A Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette, I think is how you say her name. And this is a fantasy romance book, and I don't know, it just looks fun, and I'm going to give it a try. Now onto the books that I don't own yet or just haven't been released yet. I've been hearing about The Sun Is Also a Star for a long time, and I had a couple people tell me that I would probably really like it. And so even though I'm not really sure how excited I am about it, I'm going to give it a shot. Then there is Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, and I read Truth Witch last year and I liked it, but I didn't love it. I love the concept of it, I love the characters, and the magic system is really, really interesting, but the writing style, it was kind of confusing and it didn't totally pull me in, but I'm still curious about Wind Witch, and so instead of buying the book, I'm going to get it from the library and see if I like it, and if I do like it, I'll go ahead and buy it. Then The Hate You Give is coming in February, I think, and it seems like it's going to be a really, really important book in young adult, and I've heard rave reviews about it, and I already have a request in on my library for this book, so hopefully when it's released, I get it pretty soon after. The next book is Braced, and this is a Own Voices disability book where it's about a girl who has scoliosis and has to wear a back brace and her experiences with it. And I just was super excited just to read more of a contemporary book, and I haven't seen a whole lot of Own Voices when it comes to physical disabilities, and so I'm pretty excited to see what this book is like. And then finally there is Wires and Nerve by Marissa Meyer. If anyone is a Lunar Chronicles fan, they're probably just as excited for this graphic novel as I am, because it follows Iko. Is it Iko or Aiko? I never know how to say her name. Someone tell me how to say her name. And she's one of the best characters in the series, and I'm so excited that she gets her own set of graphic novels, and it's just going to be super fun. So there you go. Those are the books that are on my radar at the moment that I may or may not get to in the next couple of months, but hopefully I do, and it should be really fun. So keep an eye out on my videos for as I read these books. If there's any of these books that you want featured in like their own video, let me know, and maybe I'll do a reading vlog or book discussion or review on that book specifically. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.